audience. This story is called Pecksniffian. Nev Orlach was positively Pecksniffian. At UCLA, he'd imbibed the 1960s born liberal narrative, during which storm clouds of staged protests and well-rooted sit-ins sought to jettison the status quo. The university had begrudgingly sponsored a panoply of voices like Eldridge Cleaver, Eleanor Roosevelt, and W.F. Buckley. Even MLK showed up to dispatch a rousing address just prior to the passage of the 1965 Voting Rights Act. Hash addicts and acid heads splayed, while a slew of rabble-rousing songs and riveting tunes were on the wing, with the likes of Harry Belafonte and Miriam Makeba heading quite the hefty flock. Satchmo, Gil Scott, the Beatles, Jimmy Janis, Muddy, Aretha, Dusty, and Santana. In spite of, or due to, the times, Nev's working-class parents made certain he and elder brother Levi learned Hebrew at a conservative Seattle temple, where Rabbi Joseph regularly dispatched diatribes condemning crafty Arabs, calumniating criminal wetbacks, and panning plebeian cushies, a Hebrew slur for nigger. Nevertheless, the emerging hippie culture intrigued Nev and lured him to cannabis. Since boyhood, he'd set his eyes on UCLA, which marked its 50th year in 1969, the year Nev graduated with a degree in Comp Lit. Big bro Levi left and joined a motorcycle gang. Despite being pudgy, pigeon-toed with incurving legs and donning black plastic-framed, thick-set eyeglasses, Nev envisaged himself a ladies' man. To wow them, he'd reminisce about a memorable stint in La Tour de France, never divulging which year, and they didn't ask. After eking out a PhD thesis at Michigan State and scoring a stint at Southern Methodist University, he met his future wife, Mildred A. Rusk, on the eve of her departure to Case Western Reserve. The school had appointed Mildred its first Audrey Geraldine Lord Professor of English. No surprise, since taking a Cornell doctorate with distinction, she'd risen to renown with her portrayals of women in 19th century American literature. Mildred was a handsome lady of striking auburn hair and a restive green eyes. She was from a distinguished Glaswegian family that had settled in the Twin Cities at the century's turn. Her parents were stupendously successful textile and furniture merchants, enabling Mildred and identical twin Martha access to the best of everything. After graduating Miss Porter's school, Mildred luminesced in literature at Mount Holyoke, during which time she'd become captivated by early films, one of Nev's passions, his erudition of the silent genre, and being possessed of an extensive collection therein helped snag Mildred's heart. After a year of long distancing, they tied the knot in Minneapolis. Her childhood pastor officiated, with twin Martha maid of honor. Soon thereafter, Nev removed to northern Ohio. His appointment as the College of Worcester's Writing Center director had as much to do with Nev's marriage to Mildred as his effective coaching style, but no one dared propound the former. He fancied himself a dude, regaling staff about his college activism and serial dalliances with the fairer sex, wistfully recalling when his physique outbuffed that of 9-time Olympian heartthrob Mark Spitz. Nev was quick to mention his good friend, then faculty dean Art Bortman, was married to a Korean-American prosecutor. He lunched occasionally with Nat Tenner, one of the few black professors. Tenner, a French literature scholar and former Writing Center director, welled institutional knowledge to Nev's benefit. Nev touted his marriage to the Episcopalian Rusk, but neglected to admit it had elicited his family's ire and Rabbi Joseph's. Mildred saw no purpose in converting. The Rusk Orlachs purchased a lovely home in Fairview Park, a cushy all-white township west of Cleveland. Their only child, Jacob, attended all-white schools, as had his parents, before enrolling at Earlham College to study art history. "It's a wonderful community," Nev regularly chirped. One blustery morning, the Writing Center's staff assistant, Mireya Gomez, filed a formal complaint after busting a young instructor, Ira Weinberg, earnestly rummaging through her mailbox. Nev was flummoxed at Mireya for airing the grievance. In castigatory tone, he proclaimed, "Ira's too fine a being to engage in such. I direct you to seek his forgiveness immediately." She did not. Just prior to Nev's meeting at Human Resources about Mireya, Ira admitted to the offense and expressed remorse to Mireya in writing. Nev didn't scold Ira, nor did he apologize to Mireya, a Costa Rican immigrant, who mystifyingly disappeared 7 weeks later. He quickly took to searching for a successor, determined to find the best that a paltry $40,000 salary could draw, and eventually invited 2 excellent applicants for in-person interviews. Both impressed. Merlene Gold was a recent Case Western grad. Nesbitt Long, who'd taken an English degree with a creative writing minor from Boston College, was unqualified eminence. And Black, which hadn't been apparent on his resume. Gold declined Nev's offer, to his consternation. However, he silently passed on Long and furtively resumed a search, much to collegial bewilderment. "I can't hire him," Nev muttered, and then plunged into his own private tirade. "I ain't no nigger lover. Nesbitt got into BC with affirmative action. That dim Levar paid somebody to write papers with crack money. He can't write no King's English. All that fakery. Says Dad's some sort of liver-lip manager and Mama's a nursing director. Right, hiding his ghetto hood, little pretentious nigger. Who the whale turd's Mama is." Say that at a meeting and I'm screwed. Hell, I can tell rough-headed Jews from rich ones, no matter if trash tries to act up or east. These kids said they're Jewish. Sharon Chambers Bennington? How was I to know? Nose job, snotty, fuckhead rich bitch. Seen 'em in Temple. Don't gotta figure out where them zoo apes from, though. They from the ghetto. I'm a Jew and so's Ira. That's diversity. Don't need some qualified woolhead, but that Puby woulda saved me some money, though. They be so poor, they be done took anything. They call that language? It's gorilla gibberish. Fucking affirmative. No forcing no zigaboo on me. It'll get another job. And them fucking wetbacks taking over California? Cocoa Puffs they can't learn. Hideous, Brillo padded, shit-colored, never tell the truth, steal something wrong with them. Bell curve spot on, goddammit. Herstein is a friend of mine. He's a wonderful guy. Low self-esteem because of slavery experience is bullshit. Get over it, you dumb blackies. Stop bitching. Bitch, bitch, bitch. All that do that spun hedge, they never be happy. Screaming victim, trying to make us sorry so that they get everything. Lyndon Baines Johnson signed the civil rights deal. So they're on easy street now. Them some of the bitch motherfuckers not doing a damn thing. I ain't hiring some pretentious, ungrateful, woolly-head Burt match up in these parts. No way. They need to go back to Africa just like Garvey wanted them to. Crack! Nev snapped out of his haze just in time for an imminent meeting, whipped out a hand mirror to check his stubborn cowlick, and wiped down sweat-coated glasses before rolling out of his office. En route, he stopped to chat with 2 black sophomores. 6 months after hiring a Mark Spitz doppelganger, Nev fired him for trashing placement exams in lieu of filing them, a misjudgment that nearly cost Nev his job. That Pecksniffian camouflage was like Swiss cheese. It couldn't mask his core. It never had.